Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us on this very rainy, thundery, lightning Sunday here in Texas. Anyway, Donovan, I know they got sunshine there in Southern California. It seems to be very hot, by the way. But anyway, sorry for the whatever, but we are here nevertheless. And I said last Friday when I was by myself that we will continue. I see Donovan's frozen, or maybe it's me. I don't know. Who's frozen? Is it me or is it? Was I frozen, Donovan?
Yes, you were frozen for a second.
I don't know, y'all. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, but isn't it funny? As soon as we started, then you froze.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the weather's terrible here. So if it doesn't hold up, I don't know, you guys. Donovan can continue on if y'all see him on. So anyway,
absolutely.
Thank you to YouTube and Facebook for being the other side of the conversation. I'm still in Facebook jail as far as not being able to go live, but I did share the link on Facebook for those who want to come over and join. But I appreciate you guys that are here. As you guys can see, I am here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat. He was gone on Friday. He was at SeaWorld with his family having a great day. And so welcome back. Also, as you guys can see here, we're going to be talking about Black businesses. If you guys saw the meme, it wasn't a meme, it was a picture that I put up of a Black couple that opened up a Chinese restaurant in Maryland. And so we're going to get into that in just a few. And so we're also going to read all of your comments. We're going to do the best we can to read each and every one of them. So Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Oh my gosh, you guys, welcome to the Demetri K Show again. Please forgive us for the audio and video connections, stuff like that. It does happen. So I want to welcome you guys. A lot of stuff is going on. I mean, once again, the Democrats are up to their shenanigans. The Congressional Black Congress wanted to show you they were doing good trouble. They were doing good trouble because the leader of the CBC staged an arrest like she's doing something, but yet the arrest didn't mean anything because she was fighting for what? Does anybody know? Does anybody heard of what was going on? So another stage, but Black folks, we like to be entertained. And again, for those of you guys that might not know, you don't have to be military to go to SeaWorld. If you know a military person, SeaWorld and all the different aspects of it are giving out tickets to the military. It's 4 tickets per military person. And some military people don't even use their benefits, whatever. So if you know somebody that's in the military, a nephew, niece, or uncle, just go. It's for the kids. I know you got the movie Blackfish that was out there, whatever. The orcas are not performing anymore. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Donovan Sadiq, I put up actually the whole orca show on my YouTube channel, and basically our whole day there. I have 4 little girl cousins, and 3 little girl cousins and their brother, and we took them to SeaWorld, and they had the time of their life. You knock them out, you take the picture with them, so when they're teenagers or even older, they say, "Oh, cousin, you never did anything with us." Is that you right there at SeaWorld? Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, so take advantage of those benefits, and they're out there. So if you guys, you don't need to be a millionaire or have all this money. Those tickets are $100 a piece. So I socked it to them for $400 and something, free ticket, walk in.
All right, now, so we got all of that out the way. Again, if you guys could share and like the video and all that, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so you guys may or may not have seen trending around Facebook, Twitter, I don't know, maybe Instagram, that there's a Black couple that opened up a Black-owned Chinese food restaurant called Black Dragon, spelled BLAQ. Dragon. And I want to read to you what they said on their Facebook, not their Facebook page, but their website, and it's blackdragon.com. It's in Maryland. So they go on to say, Black Dragon is owned and operated by the executive chef Austin, a Bowie State University graduate. He graduated with his BS and degrees in business administration with a concentration in management in the spring class of 2019. The idea of Black Dragon LLC originated from a business plan that Chef Austin created during his college career after noticing an egregious trend. Says Chef Austin noticed that his neighborhood of Capitol Heights, Maryland, a largely African-American community, was surrounded by businesses like liquor stores, food carryouts, and convenience stores. Most of those businesses are owned by people that do not necessarily have the community's best interest in mind. Black Dragon was created to be an option for those wanting to support someone that grew up in the neighborhoods where they serve their food. If Black Dragon sounds like something you might be interested in, then come in and try some of your Chinese American favorites with an urban twist. So as you heard there, they opened up that Black-owned Chinese restaurant because they said there's, as we know in most of our neighborhoods, the same old liquor stores, pawn shops, 99-cent stores, and checking the cash, and a whole bunch of Chinese restaurants and stuff that's not really owned by us. And so he, like I said, saw a trend, and we like to eat Chinese food, right? If you go into most of those restaurants, it's us eating Asian-inspired food, and even they have a lock on the crab legs and the seafood boils or whatever it's called. I don't eat it, but I see a lot of people eating it. They have a lock on that. And if you look into some of those restaurants, it is mostly Black people eating there. And so, what better thing to do than to open up a restaurant, owned by Black people that with food that we like, right? We just, we're never going to stop eating Chinese food. So you might as well give the people what they want. And Farrakhan talked about that. He says, basically, why not open up restaurants that we eat at and things like that. And then the funny thing he said too is he says it's funny how Asians can come into the Black community and open up a fried chicken restaurant, and we are in there in droves, right? Like the lines are out the door. But he says they would never allow you to open up, an Egg Foo Young restaurant in their neighborhoods. You would starve to death. And so, big ups to Chef Austin for figuring it out. Like, hey, I'm Black. I'm gonna open up a Chinese food restaurant because my people like to eat that. And so they've actually said that on their website that they cannot take any more to-go orders because they are inundated, which is a great thing. They are inundated with orders of our people ordering food, trying to support them. So they said, thank you for the support, but we've got to regroup here because it doesn't sound like they anticipated so much support and love from the community. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, real quick, a lot of people might not know, even when you go to a bank, let's say you're going to open up a business like that, a restaurant business, they usually ask you for the business plan and how you're going to do it and where this business is located. And a lot of businesses get declined because it's like, wait, you're going to be a Black person opening up in a Asian place or a Latino place, because they already know you're not going to get any service there. Isn't that crazy how the banks even know if you're not of that persuasion, you're not going to get, it's a bad loan to give you that bad loan if you open up in that area.
Absolutely. So the guy in the middle seems to be very young, said he graduated in 2019. And so he definitely has the right idea. So I'm going to get to you guys' comments before we get too far behind. But, what do you guys think about that? And, how can we go about opening up more businesses owned by us? All right. So let me get to your comments. And Inez, how you doing? He says, excellent, about time to pioneer. What's happening? He says, good evening, family. I'd love to see this. And Inez, I hope I said that right. He says, said it's about time. As much Chinese food we love to eat. Yeah, laugh out loud. I agree with you. What's happening, Frank? And Tawana, what's going on? A long time no see. And Ronnie says, good evening, Queen. And Brother D, what's happening? And Randy, how you doing? He says, hello, Demetra and Donovan. Curtis, what's going on with you? Deb, how you doing? And Curtis, she says, that'll learn them. They sell Black hair. We sell Chinese food. Yeah. And eventually we need to, we do in some places sell Black hair, but we need to get, better at it. And I understand too, they being Asians and, other races, they have a lock on the Black hair industry with the supply and all of that. So we just have to figure out how to circumvent that. And Deb says, I would like to try a Chinese restaurant with an African-American flair. Me too. Can you imagine the seasoning? Got to be off the hook. Pam, how you doing? And the Pioneer, okay, said not to be right out loud. Robin, hey, how you doing? And Holistic Lifestyle, what's going on? He says, I bet the Black Chinese restaurant is probably 10 times healthier. Yeah, I would hope so. But, it's something we eat. Like they said, they got pepper steak there. And this is the picture of them, if I haven't said already. Ice cold beverages. So, yeah, I bet it's healthier, too, and tastes much better. And DJ Carl C., how you doing? He says, yes, I heard of them, soul food in China. Randy says, that's an awesome idea for the Black neighborhood. Yeah, it might as well be us. We eat there. It's primarily us that's eating that food. So it might as well be, One of us set up, hey, Moni, how you doing? It is your birthday today, so happy birthday to you. Say happy birthday to me. Good evening to both of you. Wish me a happy, wonderful birthday. I celebrate until August 31st. I appreciate you both. Thank God. It's a wonderful, pleasant day. Yes, indeed. The Pioneer says, who knows, the original Chinese food might have actually been invented by Black folks, and somehow they got a hold of it and took the credit until now. And you never know. Anything is possible. And Amawali, how you doing? You say, everyone, please excuse my comment, but I'm just coming in the chat. I wish they had Black Chinese food in my hood. I've had some bad experiences with regular Chinese food places.
Haven't we all, brother? Haven't we all?
Yes, we have. I know a lot of them say they don't use MSG anymore, but they used to, use a lot of it. And I know that MSG upsets, people's stomach. I know it did mine.
Just because they say they don't use it doesn't mean they don't use it.
Right. And they like, it's Black people primarily eating it. They ain't going to care, And let's see here. Yes. And Pam says Black Dragon. That's great. Yeah. But they put a Q to kind of give it a play on words. And I actually like that better.
You know what? We need to think about some names for Chinese restaurants. If I had to open up a Chinese restaurant in the Black neighborhood, you know what I would call it, D?
I'm scared.
Show enough Chinese food. Show enough. Who's the baddest? Show enough.
I like it. Go with it. And Curtis says, shoot, half the time I love to try a soul food place with a Black twist. I mourned for a week when my favorite place closed down and was replaced by other places, including a horrible soul food poser. Oh God, I wonder who that was. And one says, I've seen couples in Detroit different times have tried opening up Chinese restaurants and they stay open for maybe a year or two and then they go flop. I hope that they will be successful and blessed. Well, I think this particular Black Dragon restaurant will be successful, especially now with the awareness that's going on in our community regarding, just to stop Asian hate type thing, and they're blaming Black people for that. And so I think right now our eyes are starting to open, and maybe we'll see that Black business a little bit differently than we have in the past, and say, we really need to get behind our people. The Pioneer, okay. And Anais, how you doing? He says, my people, I love them. And Donovan says, welcome to the Demetri K Show, y'all. Back from Costa Rica. Yes, indeed. And Amawali says, my wife and me do not eat at any regular Chinese food places anymore. Yeah, I don't either. Not at all. And I haven't for a while. So, and Mona says, as I stated, I think it meant Pioneer, I celebrate all of July into August, but today is my actual day. You can laugh out loud if that's what you choose. I thank God to be blessed to see July, and I'm going to celebrate August. I know that's right. Hey, do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, during a pandemic, well, what do you plan on doing to celebrate? I mean, that's something that's, if we ever get out of this pandemic, that's something you're always going to remember, like, hey, when I was during the pandemic, my birthday passed, what did I do? So that's kind of a good question to think about.
Yeah, I celebrated, and you too, Donovan, 2 birthdays, I guess probably all of us by now, 2 birthdays during the pandemic, one major 50th, anniversary birthday, if you will. And when I turned 49, so I was like, and the Pioneer says, mostly Black people and Latinos in my areas. The vast majority of people piling into those restaurants are Latinos. Yeah, depending on where you live, I've seen mostly our people in those restaurants. And Moni says, can you tell us about your trip, Demetri and Donovan? What is the cost of living like in Costa Rica, and how much do you have to take to stay in a very nice exclusive hotel for about a good 7 to 10 days?
The average hotel is the same as the average hotel here. You want to know why? It's the same hotel chain, so you're going to pay the same amount of money. So if you stayed there for 7 days, you're looking at least about $1,100 for 7 days. But we were lucky that we had Deanna there, and we stayed in this beautiful Airbnb for $50 a day. $50 a day.
Yeah, it was nice, really low key. I mean, it was not. How can I say this? It wasn't Africa when we went. No experience to my travels of top South Africa yet, but Costa Rica was nice. It was chill. It was low key, and I think that's really what we needed, just the woosah.
To get away. It was just a quick trip to get away. And actually right now, if they lock the United States down right now, I can deal with it to a point. You know what I mean? I mean, I wouldn't be like, we got away, saw some great things. And, I just feel a whole lot better, that that we did that trip.
The only thing I didn't like is having to have that COVID test to come back.
Yes, Dimitri was ready to fight everybody in the.
I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it's not. It doesn't feel good having something. I thought they was gonna do one nostril, but then she's like, "Okay, now the other one." I was like, "Wait, what? Wait." I was just prepared for one, not two.
Yes, and one thing about the Costa Rican people, they all got to hustle. So now you got these little testing centers all over the place that pop up, because just to get the basic test is $65. To get the major test is like $90, and you can get it within 24 hours. You get the results within 24 hours. Okay, we got ours within an hour of taking the first test, and it's just crazy how Americans go down there and then they say, okay, you got to have this, this, and this, and then they're like, well, my flight leaves in an hour. Well, guess what? You're not leaving on that flight because you weren't here in enough time to get it done. But I mean, the people were real friendly down there. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
yes, indeed. All right, so let's go here. And hey, Penelope, how you doing? It says, I bet the Black Chinese food is delicious. I bet it is too. And Curtis says, still remember the video of the Black man being told to leave an Asian restaurant because he was wearing Jordans while a white lady was at the bar wearing Reeboks. Yeah, that's how they do it. And it's like, well, and then we beg and cry because they won't let us in. I mean, I'd have been like, oh, well, then I'm going somewhere else. But to me, like, if they put you off for wearing tennis shoes, do you really trust them to make your food? I mean, sometimes we just got to use a little bit of common sense, just a little bit. And let's see here. Kurt, how you doing? You say, what's up, D and Donovan, Oakland, California? That's actually where I was born. That's my birthplace. So big ups. And Antoine, how you doing? He says, hello, Queen, panel, and room. What's happening to you? And Brother Bam, I hope I said that right. He says, hi, all Black first. Yes, indeed. And Moni says, I really wish a lot of great success for them, and I hope they will be very diverse in their menus that make people want to shop. Very good strategy from all over the world. Yes, indeed. Monet, how you doing? And Big Cannon, what's up? He says, I bet if you order chicken, it's chicken, not. I'll let y'all read that. Oh, God. Penelope says, I would support them. I love wings and special fried rice and lo mein. Yes, indeed. I mean, if I ever go to Maryland, I might try something out. And, I'm right now I'm strictly vegan again. So I'm back. And Deb, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, I wish we could get a Black-owned beauty supply, a good one. There's a few in Houston that we go to. Now, they don't have as much stuff as, the Asians do, because the Asians have a lock on the industry, but they have enough stuff. I mean, they have what I need. I just need some edge control and, maybe some braids to do my daughter's hair. But other than that, I don't use I don't do a lot to my hair that needs me to get a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah. And Rashida, how you doing? It says, Black person, Chicago. I love it. Yes, indeed. And Reading Caribbean Cultural Group. How you doing? He says, oh, okay, it's Stacy. What's going on, Stacy? And Antoine says, that do sound good. Yes, indeed. And Stacy says, in Trinidad, we have Chinese restaurants that taste nothing like the authentic Chinese. Ours is much better. Okay. And Robin says, I don't see the issue. Asians, Koreans, and Vietnamese capitalize off of us with their so-called soul food, quote unquote, that they sell in their restaurants. Yeah, and we line up. That's me pushing Donovan over that waterfall. I had to stop because there was cameras on me. I was like, shoot, I'm trying to get back home. I ain't trying to be in no Costa Rican jail. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, they set up in our neighborhoods, and we give them money hand over fist, right? The morning said, Donovan, do you enjoy seaweed? Demetri, do you like eating sushi? And are you one that eat different types of raw fish, being that you've been in the military? Seaweed that's sprinkle the sea, salt, olive oil. Donovan, I'll let you go ahead and answer that.
Oh, yeah. Well, me being a military kid, I didn't get choices on what I ate. I ate what was put in front of me. So you put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it, even if it's just to be polite. But a quick story, when we were in Costa Rica, Deanna found this Caribbean restaurant. We went down there, it's got the Bob Marley thing going on. We're having a good time. I ordered a seafood rice platter, right? And it looked good. And it was fresh. you could smell the fish. You could smell the ocean. So I'm going, I dip into it, and they left the shells in the rice. So I had to like pick through it and kind of get through it, and they had the shells on there, but it was really, really good. So, and that's another thing. See, and that falls on me because my expectation is what I would find in America. I'm in a different country. So the way they eat there, when we think of Caribbean, we think of Jamaican, right? A lot of people think of Jamaican, Bahamian, whatever, right? But you've got Caribbean, Costa Rican, and that's what we were eating there. And and the food was really, really good. So yeah, so I'll eat anything that's put in front of me. But seaweed, anything, if it's edible. I went to SEER school. Guys, remember I was a pilot in the military, so we have to go to these SEER schools. I'll eat the bark off a tree and make it taste good. That's just how you got to do to survive. So I was taught to do that.
And no, Marty, I do not eat all kind of seafood at all. I'm very strange when it comes to my food. I don't like nothing slimy, gritty, none of that. I'm simple. Just give me the regular stuff. I don't need no extra nothing. Just keep it simple with me. And let's see here. Kojo, how you doing? He says, good evening from Brooklyn, everybody. He said hood evening, but I don't know if you meant good evening, so we'll say both. He says, congratulations. Can't wait to eat your food. I've been staying away from China food for 3 years. Well, it's not my food, but it's, the people who own it. Chef Austin is his name, the Black Dragon. So if I ever go to Maryland, that's where they are. I would love to eat there. And Randy says, might be ideal to start one in Houston or Dallas. So it might still be a good idea. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, we eat everywhere, right? So we might as well have one in some of our neighborhoods. And Brotham, you say, just like the martial arts, they stole that also. So I hear. And Peachy, how you doing? He says, at Deb, there's plenty of Black-owned beauty supply stores opening all over now. Yes, indeed. There's a few, like I said, in Houston that I can go to. So, and I have gone to. And Kojo, he says, I've seen cardboard MSG barrels. Oh, wow. Yeah, that stuff is definitely not good for you at all. And they put it in the food, and I'm sure they put it in our food, and the food that they serve us in our neighborhoods. You get bubble guts after eating that, then yeah, it's probably some MSG up in there. Mona says there's nothing wrong with our brothers and sisters opening up different types of cultural food as long as they know how to prepare it correctly and make it taste authentic. That's the deal I think you make. Yeah, no, absolutely. And Anais says Bruce Leroy Chinese restaurant.
I'm serious. We would come up with some of the coolest names, and because we like to be entertained and we watch a lot of movies, and I'm not trying to stereotype, you would know what to expect when you went in there, because I mean, just the name would draw me in to see what was going on in there. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Black Ricardo, how you doing? He says, I will call it no bonnet for you. You might drive away half of your customers if you say that. And Randy, he says, Donovan's Chinese food and buffet. Yeah, I like that too. Donovan, sounds like you got your work cut out for you.
I'd rather just open up a weed shop.
Right, okay. And let's see, I'm going to go to some of these comments that don't have a response. Uh-oh. I knew I would do that. Let me get back to it. Okay, here we go. Not to be read out loud. And Frank, you say they're going to lock down again. I think so too, because that thing, I'm not going to say what it is going back up. And they're saying that it's due to the people who are unvaccinated. There are like 90-some% of the cases that are contracting the new variant, the Delta variant. And so I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, but you kind of look at it this way. So you got this new variant. And you've also, and I say you, I mean in general, you've taken off the mask mandate in everywhere for the most part, right? LA County is trying to mandate it again, but
it's been mandated.
Well, but the DA is saying that it's unconstitutional and it's not based on science, and so he's not making it. The Attorney General, rather, he's not making it mandatory. He's not going to, enforce it. So they've got a schism going on there. But yeah, they say this. Some hospitals are starting to see winter, like what it was in the winter-like cases, pandemic cases, and they're impressing upon people to go ahead and get vaccinated. So
see, and here's the thing about that too. Think about all of the healthcare workers that were overwhelmed the last year. Some of them just outright left, right? So I don't know if there's a shortage of healthcare workers, but I wouldn't doubt it. So these people that, are going to get sick, I mean, what are they going to do? Just kind of say, well, you're on your own or what?
Well, I have my theories and my feelings about that whole little, jabbed or not jabbed thing going on. Me personally, I'm not jabbed up. I do not plan to be jabbed up, and I'm trying to be careful the words that I use. But what you guys can attach whatever you want to they have managed to do is create another us and them society. You guys know what I mean? The jab versus the unjab.
Wasn't there a book by Dr. Seuss about that? Or remember like a kid's show we used to watch on Sundays where you had the people that had the letter and the ones that didn't? The stars and the ones that didn't.
Yeah. That's what they've created, another us and them society. And, now the jabbed and unjabbed are fighting with each other and blaming each other type of thing. So it's getting to be out of hand. And Marty says, I would really love to see an Italian and Black French and Black Russian and Black Hawaiian restaurant open up soon. The taste of the food got to be authentic 100%. Yes, indeed. Hey, honeydew, how you doing? And the Pioneer says, I don't understand that jab test. Y'all know why I'm not saying the words, because of the bots and the algorithms, they pick up on stuff like that on these social medias. You say if you have the virus in your system, you should be able to simply spit on a dish and they can detect it. Why do they have to be so invasive? Yeah, I agree. I was hoping that they would just do the mouth thing, but nah, that's not what they wanted to do. I didn't enjoy that at all, but I kind of wanted to go home. So Pam says, I missed 2 years of celebration my anniversary in Vegas, which was yesterday. Good to be alive, though. Yes, right? Like the alternative is being alive. Tawana says, Asian food have a lot of brown sugar. That is their secret ingredient. Yes, I've actually looked up some recipes, and you're right. They do use a lot of sugars and different types of syrups and stuff. But yep. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? Moni says, we need to stop buying all forms of hair from them 100%. Demetri, here in Highland Park, Michigan, there's a Black-owned beauty supply, and there's a competing one that's across the street. That's the owner. And they also say, so what they do is they know they make billions of dollars off of us in the hair market, which is not good at the end of the day. I tell everyone, let's stop putting their hair in our hair, grow our own. That would be the optimal thing to do is grow our own. And I hate to say this, but a lot of us have destroyed our hair and our scalp to the point to where we kind of gotta wear something on it, due to alopecia, traction alopecia and all of that. So
yeah, and then it's funny that Moni brought that up, because I was talking to a young lady about, she had to get her hair and nails done before she went on this trip, or her nails done at least. And I said, well, there's, this shop over here, whatever. And she goes, well, the customer service there, whatever, she knows it better than I do. But in her opinion, as a consumer, she's going to go to the cheapest nail shop, which is the Asian nail shop and all that other stuff. So I was telling her, so I said, you want me to catch a case in defending you when they choke you out, but you're still going to go there? She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm going to go where the money is cheaper and the service is better. She goes, unfortunately, a lot of our nail shops, they don't do this. They don't do that. They don't do this. And like I said, I'm not a nail person, so I don't know what's going on in there. But basically, she was saying she gets better service at the Asian shop, and it's economically cheaper than if she went to a Black shop. And in my head, I was saying, you know what? That's a big cop out, but if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. So we can talk about what we should be doing, but there's always going to be a group of us that is just going to just do what they want to do anyway.
Yeah, and really quick before I get to these comments, I mean, I just kind of see things in different degrees. So because I hear Black women say, oh, well, the Asians treat me better and the prices are cheaper. Yeah, the prices are cheaper. Why are the prices cheaper? The prices are cheaper because there's more of them and they can afford to have the prices low. It's not that many Black owned and operated nail salons. And so the prices tend to be a little bit higher. And also on the consumer standpoint, let's just keep it real. A lot of times we as Black consumers, we don't treat the Asians like we treat our brothers and sisters. We go to our brothers and sisters and I don't like this, I don't like that. You do this.
I want the hookup.
Yeah, all of that. So we don't do that to them other people. We do that to our own people. We want our own people to accept lackluster, consumerism, I guess, if you will. but they don't do that to them other people. So to me, I kind of see it both ways. It's like, I think we should get used to telling the whole story. You sit down in the white people chairs or the Asian chairs, you're not taking them through all that nonsense that you're going to take the black people through. So,
yeah. And I barely notice black women going into Asian nail shops looking raggedy, as a whole. Some of them have bonnets, whatever. I'm talking about like raggedy, going in there with sweats or something like that. No, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
No, you know what I mean? It's like we got to be real about it. When we go into other establishments that isn't our own, we dress according to whatever the code is or whatever, and we submit to it.
Right. And also Morning said, but when we start dealing with other cultures from Hawaiians, Hispanics to pure Native Americans, we can stop. The Middle Eastern Indians have gotten into the market already, not slowly, but surely. Yes, indeed. And actually going to talk about some things that are going on in South Africa in regards to the Indians, but I'm not going to talk about it right now because I need to get a little bit more information, but it's going to be very heartbreaking, and it's crazy if you guys don't already kind of know what's going on. And yes, Sunlight, he said, congratulations to your return to vegan. I won't say it was hard. I just kind of gave it a break for a minute, but up until that point, I was vegan for 7 years, but now I'm back. So obviously for a lot of reasons, health reasons, and I felt a lot better being vegan. Hey, Eli, how you doing? And Kwame Brown's live stream, Jim's, how you doing? He says, I love it. And Frank says, Pioneer, something might be in the test. Ooh, don't tell me that. Morning says, Demetri Donovan, what's your favorite food and from what country do you love it personally? Thank you for making everything real and keeping it 100%. Love you both. I really don't have a favorite food. Fruits and vegetables at this moment is what I really like the most. And let's see here. And Leather Luxury Cars, how you doing? And Frank says, Pioneer, 10 years from now, the truth will come out. And Morning says, in many of the Asian restaurants, they are very unclean. And I've seen them handle money and then go start preparing your dish. When they tell them to wash their hands, they'll try to hide hands. Well, I just wouldn't be ordering from there, okay? And X, how you doing? He says, great idea. And I'm going to get to some of these other comments people haven't seen on here. And Channy, how you doing? He says, hey, y'all. Black folks can cook just about anything, so I'm sure it's good. You ain't lying. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? And Randy, he says, our hospitals here in Laredo is full again. Oh, wow. And that's what Laredo is, Texas, at the border of Mexico and Texas. Yes, it's probably going to get a lot worse from this point. And Frank says, we shop Donovan I'm with you on that.
Yep, and I don't use my own supply. I don't even use weed. So if people want to buy it, it's a good commodity. Hey, I'll do the weed shop.
Morning says, the main thing I want to focus on is stop supporting them and letting them make billions of dollars in the hair industry with their weaves. Let's deal with different culture. East Indians are now involved. And you also say, hopefully you can pick up in different states with different beautiful or diverse restaurants from Asian cuisines to Italian to French. On an upscale level, no ghetto ratchetness allowed ever. Oh, Lord. And Leather and Luxury Car says, I'm currently working on building the funds for an assembly line car shop. Okay, now we definitely need that. And then Aisha says, they are trying to kill us. Yep. And then we keep on, depending on what you're talking about. But yeah, you guys can fill in the blanks with they. And let me see here. I'm not going to read the replies. And Frank says, they lying. Of course, they're going to say it's because of the non-jabbed. Okay, they should explain how the cases went down when Biden got in office after the election. It's staged. Yeah, some people are calling it the pandemic, and some people are saying that is not. But, nevertheless, it is here, and, it needs to be dealt with. Hopefully it goes away so we can all, get back to our regular lives if that's ever going to happen again, right? Like,
right. Or actually, do we want to get back to our regular lives? Some of us, some of you guys have never lived better than having this pandemic. That means they're going to have to extend the unemployment again. They're going to have to do all these things again. And this time, don't trick off the money.
Yes, indeed. The Pioneer, you said, absolutely, sis. They want to blame the spikes and the surges around the nation on the unjabbed instead of them dropping all of the mask mandates and opening everything back up too damn early. Yeah, I mean, if any guys are watching the NBA games, they got a stadium full of people with no mask on. So it's like, I mean, we're not telling the whole story here, right? And let's see here. Morning says, Donovan, I wish I could be celebrating with you and have Estapolino with you under the pale moon. Oh, okay, hold on now. Under the pale moonlight for my birthday. But being that's not the case, I'll settle for just enjoying going to the casino. I was trying to sound sexy when I was reading.
Yeah, I see that. No, yeah, the casino, very romantic. Demetra and Deanna, we all went to the casino there in Costa Rica. It was Demetra, how much excitement did you hear in that casino?
Not a lot. And truth be told, we only gambled like $3 up in that mug, okay?
It was practically crickets up in that casino. Nobody, no ringing, no dinging, none of that.
Nah, we played pool most of the time after we ate. We played pool. And Frank says, so when Trump was in, the virus was still here. Shaking my head, have to critical think. Yep, yes, indeed. And all aboard. How you doing? You say there's a black Chinese spot out in Philly too. Okay. And Moni says, I think tomorrow they said, and Tuesday, I think he said, I'm treating myself to shopping and buying things that I want for myself, going to buy some school supplies to put up for future classes. Okay. And Honeydew says, the jab sitch. Look how many black women professionals were advocating for the jab, from the creator to the local nurse. He said, it just shocked me as a black woman and scary. Yeah, because they figure if they put the black woman as the face of that, then we would get on board. But you know how many black women in the past have told us to do stuff, you know, in regards to the medical industry, and it didn't turn out right. You know, just thinking about Tuskegee, I ain't gonna say too much more.
Well, you got to remember this: black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Well, God dog it, if you're the backbone of the Democratic Party, why ain't we got nothing?
You throwing rocks again?
Yes, I am. You know what I mean? But, you know, and it's so sad that these women are being used this way. It's bad enough you're using black women against black men and vice versa when we need each other at the end of the day. And, you know, and I've said this on my show, I've said it on Demetra's show, and it's sad. Black women like to be mentally masturbated, and we just do. As long as we're the backbone of, I'm a single black woman. Black women, it seems, love titles. That's what it seems like. They love titles.
I'm gonna leave that alone in case somebody else want to get it. Robin says it costs more at a black nail shop because they have less staff and the products used aren't cheap like the Asians, and that is true too. That is very
right. But knowing that as we do, is that an excuse to go and not support our own?
Well, no, it's not an excuse, but you know, just based off of what you were saying, you know, black women want to go there to the Asians because their stuff is cheaper, or that their charges are less than that of blacks. Well, to her point, that's why the products are not of quality. I mean, you know, and let's just keep it real. Most other cultures that open up businesses in our neighborhoods, or you know, that we go to, they not serving us quality stuff. I mean, how many times have you seen videos of liquor stores, different, you know, corner stores selling horrible food, rotten meat, spoiled milk?
They even had an episode of that on The Simpsons. Remember when Apu was giving Homer those bad hot dogs and stuff, and he ate them and got sick, and Homer went back in there like the next week and did it again. Yeah.
So, you know, that's so it's not surprising that the products are cheaper. And Moni says, what is an Airbnb? When you say that in a hotel down, I mean, I don't understand. I've never heard of that term. I hope you both will come to Michigan and visit real soon. Check it out. Airbnb is where people rent their homes, like an Uber. It's like an Uber for houses. I mean, the Uber for houses where people put their homes. Even they could live in them, or a lot of times they don't live in them, and they rent it to people who are coming out of town, so they can stay. So in the past, it's been far cheaper than hotels. But recently, they said after the pandemic, the Airbnbs are starting to give hotels a run for their money. So that's what that is. And all aboard says Asian shops often use fake licenses or share them, while black shops are under higher scrutiny and licensing. That is true. A lot of times, I know in the past, a lot of the Asian nail salons, their technicians did not have licenses. They, like you said, share the licenses, or they work up under somebody else's license. If that's not feeling, says Donovan, stay away from women like that. And leather and luxury cars, it says way true. We expect too much from each other, never demand simple respect from anybody else. And it's just a fact, right? When we go to our people, you know, you got to, you know, what did you use, just, you know, all of that. But we don't do that to them folks. We take our people through the stuff over a bologna sandwich. Money says, so I take it now you got your COVID vaccination. Both of you guys can travel more often. I hope that you will get a chance to go to Venezuela and perhaps Paris. Let us see when you go. I haven't. No, I haven't.
Here's the thing. Okay, Costa Rica, you do not need a vaccination to get into the country or to leave the country. You just need a test, right, to leave the country. They don't, and they are serious about you. You can't go into a shop there without sanitizing your hands. You better have a mask on. They've got a person on guard that makes sure you do so. And if you don't, you definitely don't want those police on your ass, and you're stuck in a Costa Rican jail down there doing whatever. But here's the thing, Moni. I have been vaccinated. Not once was I asked to see my vaccination papers. Not once.
Right. So there you have it. And Leather Luxury Car says, I hate to say it, but I believe on God's protection. No, man, I'd rather die knowing my soul is pure than die from some side effects from a jab. And you know what? Me and you were there. Well, I agree with you 100%. You know, because I won't say I think about getting it, but I think about the things that they won't really allow to be said about it. And I just don't want to be in that percentage of getting it and then something go wrong, you know, when I'm perfectly fine now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm one of those people, I just social distance as much as I can. I do go out to the store and stuff, and I've started going to the gym with my daughter. But we go on times where it's not a lot of people. Thank God the times that we've gone, there's not a lot of people, and we're away from everybody. So we're not like in a cluster of people. And we do wear our mask walking throughout the gym. So, you know, we take precaution. But other than that, I stay home. And Tawana says, our women will not support Black-owned businesses, but when their children decide to go into business, then they complain about what Black folks won't do. You ain't lying. And Honeydew says, all aboard, where in Philly? And Moni says, at the end of the day, I make sure that my dollar doesn't go with Asian suppliers, Dimitri, even down to Young's Nails that deals with acrylics for the nails. It says Zelo and I said eyeglass company that sells glasses. Okay. And Arson, how you doing? He says, about what Donovan just said, he says, the issue is that Blacks are so price conscious. And he says that the slightest price difference will have us go elsewhere. It's a new set of principles we need to instill. Yeah, you know, and also we need to think about why the prices are a little bit differently in our communities, because we don't have the demand like the other communities have. They have the demand. And so they can keep their prices low. When you don't have the demand, you got to kind of sell them for a little bit more. So you can just basically stay open. Like a lot of these businesses, Black businesses that are in business and their prices are a little bit higher, they're not getting rich. They're staying open, barely.
Yeah, so, you know, in my neighborhood, there's 5 nail shops within proximity of each other, right? One is super high, you know, and it goes down the list and it gets to like the super cheap one, right? And you got the different clientele that go to the different ones, right? They're all owned by the same family.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. When I was in California, I saw like that too. And Robin says, it's the surge is due to the unjabbed. The unjabbed would have to have the virus. And that's what they're saying. They said that the unjabbed are the ones that's contracting it the most. And it's also said, from what I understand, spreading it to people who have been jabbed. So what's going on with that? And Mona says, realizing, let me get back to it. Oh, okay, here we go. Realizing that one can be treated better than you with an anti-hate bill. I'll be sure if it's not life or death or absolutely mandatory, I will not be spending no money with them ever, Asian community. And a lot of people are just like that. And, you know, it's not even really so much as don't spend money with them. It should be about spending money with us. I think that's where the focus should be. That's just, we should be spending money with us anyway, right? Deb says, the weed dispensaries in Chicago area have very reasonable prices, but it says because of competition, just looking so far, haven't pulled the trigger. Laugh out loud. And the Pioneer says, Donovan is absolutely correct and dropping good game. What if we were to give us a do-over with all of the stimulus payments for 4 more years? This time we'll invest that money properly. Yeah, you know, hindsight is 2020. If that ever happens, you know, if we go back into
Well, you already got a big screen TV. You need another one?
well, in all fairness, all people didn't do that. In all fairness, the other thing too is we tend to only hear about the negative things that go on in our community, but I would venture to say most of us didn't trick off the money. Now, what you would have done with the money, you might have invested it. Some people may have needed that money. Maybe they were already behind before the pandemic happened and they, did some things to catch up. So, yeah, but, looking forward, if that happens, I don't think Joe Biden is going to give out more money because look at what's going on with businesses. There's businesses. I did a story on the African diaspora. It might be on an Insider or a news channel where Burger King, all the employees quit. They had a sign out says, we all quit. Sorry for the inconvenience because for one, the managers are overworked and they can't find people to come back to work. And so I think they know if they give more money, that's going to make it harder for these businesses because now they say, oh, we got jobs, there's jobs everywhere, but we don't have the labor force to work them. But it's like, be honest though, what kind of jobs do you have for people? You got minimum wage jobs. And I just also with that study, or that story says that 90% of the people, over 90% of the people who are making minimum wage can't afford to rent anything anywhere in the United States. So those jobs, they're not talking about no good jobs that'll help you, sustain a lifestyle. They talk about jobs that help get their corporate buddies, back in black. So I don't think they'll be interested in giving another injection of stimulus money.
No, and they're not going to do that because have you guys noticed that they're talking about, oh my gosh, the inflation is taking off. Did you know what the inflation actually is? It's these rich corporations saying, well, if these people don't want to come back to work, we're just going to put it on inflation and get our money that way. Because remember, they weren't talking inflation last year. They weren't talking inflation. They haven't been talking inflation in a while. But now that people aren't going back to work and they can't afford to pay these people, all of a sudden inflation is a problem. All of a sudden. Has anybody ever thought about that?
Right. No, you're right. And Oliver says, I make my own food at home, including Chinese. I'm not taking any chances. And so far, I haven't taken the jab or gotten the virus. Yeah, and that's the best way too. Is
you're freezing up real quick, but go ahead.
Am I freezing up?
You're frozen, but go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. It's like I said, the weather's bad, so forgive me. Hopefully, I'll unfreeze. But anyway, yeah.
There you go. You unfroze. But go ahead.
I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's better to cook your own food. As they say, keep your mouth out of other people's kitchen. Especially now with the worker shortage that they have going on. I mean, God bless them. Can you imagine them rushing? What if they drop a burger? You think they got the time to make you another one? Are they going to scoop it off? And all right, here we go.
Yeah, the funny thing is we went to this breakfast in Costa Rica, a really nice restaurant and stuff. It was really nice. And so later on that day, we decided to go to the store and get our own supplies, right? Because we have a kitchenette in our Airbnb. Demetra basically duplicated the plate of the breakfast we had the next day, from that breakfast that morning. And it was very simple, but it was very well placed. It looked really nice. So.
Yeah, we could do it with it's the convenience thing. I understand. It's like, oh, it's easier just to go out and order, but it's like, okay, quit being lazy. Save some money too. And Honeydew says I was gonna say that. Where laugh out loud. And let me get some of these other comments. Honeydew also say, I swear Germantown Avenue neighborhood got everything. Georgia Rose, how you doing? Says, no, sir, Donovan, that's propaganda. Uh-oh. And Debbie says, throw rocks. We have so much untapped power with no rewards. That is true. And Leather and Luxury Cars says, I rather spend with us. I don't care about the cost. I'm the same way, and a lot of times it's not that much more money, right? I mean, it's worth it if you look at the long run. And Robin says, no, Donovan, it's not an excuse. I'm just stating the truth. I've been researching this since 2015. And Moni say many of the Black owners will refuse. You have a Crest Beauty Supply in Highland Park that I've told many of the workers to have Caucasians to order for them, refuse to, don't see them around much longer. Robin says, case in point, the reason why women get fungus on their nails is because Asians use cheap products. And, just because I had a cosmetology license, A lot of it is not sterilizing the equipment the right way. Who's to say that they're anybody really, but since they have such an influx of people, are properly sterilizing their instruments. I mean, you're doing, like, when I was going to cosmetology school and I had to learn how to do manicures and pedicures, and a lot of the people who were learning how to do manicures and pedicures, like, I don't want to do nobody's feet. That's nasty. And our instructor says, well, you know where their feet have been, but what about their hands? I was like, oh, but the point that I'm making is, so they're using these tools and stuff, and, they have to use them really fast, and to properly sterilize that stuff, they got to go into, I forget the name of the thing by now, but they got to go into the Barbasol and this other thing, and that's time consuming. So are they really going through the whole process of the sterilization process? Good question. And Makaya, how you doing? Makaya, I'm sorry, I hope I said that right. Says that hasn't changed. Many are still not individually licensed. See, there you go. And Frank says, oh, damn, Tawana, damn bars. Facts Not Feeling said they sell out black men. Uh-oh, here we go.
Well, I don't think they sell out black men. What it is black men are used as scapegoats. If you have a problem, blame it on the black man. Everything's the black man's fault. So it's a scapegoatism.
Okay. And Frank is asking you a question. I'll let y'all deal with that in the comment section. And Joel, how you doing? He says, I've never taken that poison. COVID is nothing but the flu. Yeah, they say it's the difference with that and the regular flu is that, yeah, the flu is contagious, but it doesn't seem to be as contagious as, the COVID. The COVID seems to be much deadlier, I guess. I don't know. But you notice how they said, too, that it was 2020 that the flu was almost non-existent due to people wearing masks. So, Frank says, you still catch it if you vaccinated and get it. Why get it? Good question.
Well, here's the thing for me, and I can only speak for myself. Let's, critical thing. A lot of these countries are not going to let you in if you don't have certification of being vaccinated. That's just the bottom line. This country is great, but I've seen a lot of greater things that I want to do in the time that I have left.
All right. So let me get some of the other comments in. The Pioneer says, many of our people get food poisoning from foreign restaurants and continue to eat there. But if a black restaurant just short them 2 hush puppies, they'll stop going and tell their friends not to go and post about it all on Facebook and everything you can think of. And Frank says, I think why they want us to get the jab so bad, and we do it even, and it says we don't even have permanent civil rights. Yeah, that's a good point. Marty says, I got exposed to eating exotic foods from my mother and many friends in the 80s as a child, drinking Dom Perignon. I'm drinking vodka cocktails as we speak. Okay, he says, in light of the pandemic, no way. I tried Dom Perignon once and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the draw. Gloria, how you doing? It says, hi, Donovan and Demetra. I will never listen to any of these black women tell me anything about voting. Have we learned our lesson yet? I will only vote here in my state of Las Vegas. Yeah, the sorors and, the Democratic backbone, which is black women, they have not been leading us anywhere good. So, yeah, I think we need to put them on mute until they get their stuff together, right? And Sunlight says, not only do they have the demand, they have discounted supplies because they own the supply stores too. Yep, they can do that, right?
And they're getting the products from their home country. So,
and they got a lock on the chain. So, and Morning says, I do not trust my food being prepared by many of these people because they're nasty and unsanitary, and you have to be very careful. So I prepare things myself. What a shame. Safety is key. Now, you ain't lying. I mean, you also think about it. You paying somebody minimum wage, and here in Texas, it's $7.25 an hour. Probably not too happy. Then here you are. Where am I? Why is it taking so long? And I just so you doing all that to people making $7.25 an hour, making your food. I mean, think about it.
And now they get $15 an hour out here or whatever, and they still don't put the napkins in the damn bag.
I'd rather than be making $15 an hour than $7.25 an hour making my food. I mean, you think like somebody who's preparing your food is almost more important than your doctor. Because, you know, the people preparing your food is preparing stuff to go in your body that can make you sick or keep you well and avoid you from going to the doctor, right? So why I can never understand why we have such a hard time with people in the fast food industry making a decent living. That is weird to me.
Wait, fast food. Didn't President Bush call that when the manufacturing jobs are heading overseas and he couldn't justify why? Didn't he call fast food manufacturing jobs?
Okay. And Joel, he says, isn't it amazing how they always putting us as the face of everything negative, HIV, Ebola, STD, and now COVID? And then y'all heard about the something that came out of Nigeria, the monkey.
Yeah, the monkey strain, something.
No, they like chicken pox, but they call it monkey something, like the monkey pox. I know I got it wrong, but I'm like, okay, now Black people gonna be targeted for that. It's like, y'all see it probably now that I mentioned it.
But here's the funny thing, you guys. Critical think real quick. You see these people and the numbers of the COVID going back up for this Delta strain, right? Now, when you look at the pictures in Las Vegas, there's a lot of Black people, but there's more people of who gathering in these groups. It's mostly white folks, but they're going to put the blame on us. Like, oh, well, if the Black people would get vaccinated.
Now they say it's mostly Trump's folks. Elaine, how you doing? He says, bless your people. Yeah, absolutely. And Aisha says, I started my second business with my stimulus. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. What kind of business do you have, by the way? And all aboard says, Asians, including Indians or Arabs, often pool their money together and hire cheap labor. That's how you do it. You pull your money together. And let's see here. And Moni says, Demetri, I would love for you all to speak that they're putting people in jail in Texas for voting if you do not have your ID. Personally, I think politicians are nothing but criminals. No vote for me again. Yeah, it's voter suppression. And for the long and the short of it, it is voter suppression. But then
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. But I said I guess I get the ID thing too. I mean, I think even if you weren't voting, you should have an ID. Don't you need an ID?
Yeah, you need an ID to check out a library book. But anyway, well, Moni, we got a solution for that. All the Democrats have to do is pass a law, which they are in the majority to do, that will squash all of that, and it will protect all of our voting rights. So what are they waiting for?
Good question. And the Pioneer said, sis, thank you for making it clear that all of our people don't trick off the money or didn't trick off the money. A lot of our people are irresponsible. Most of them use that money to pay bills and eat with little to spare. Yeah, and that's the truth, right? It's salacious to say, oh, Negroes is out there with the Jordans and the tennis shows, you know, but that's not overall the case. Some people are doing it, but not overall, right? Sunlight says low wage jobs where you subject to the virus, racism, etc., are not worth what they're paying. Yeah, you got to throw in all that stuff. It's like, wow, $7.25, and I got to deal with all of that. I'd rather stay home and collect cans. A lot of people are just figuring out by starting their own businesses.
Yeah, I don't mean to be bad or anything. Don't take this the wrong way, but I actually think this pandemic is one of the best things that has happened to Black people, because now we see that there is another way for us to survive other than hitting somebody's clock and doing all that other stuff. We're saying, hey, it can be done. But for so long, we've been taught you got to do it this way, do it and work for somebody. And that's bull crap. I have a cousin of mine right now. They're forcing her back to work, but she's more productive at home. She works on a computer. So a lot of you guys work on computers. Why do you need to go back home if you're more productive, or back to work if you're more productive at home? Why? Because the white supremacists want the ira of overlording you, bringing you in. And so this is my office. I'm the top dog, so I can see what you're doing.
Yeah. But a lot of people are saying, screw it. I'm not going back. I'll go find another job. And so they're having a problem filling those positions as well, because people like, man, we've been at home for almost 2 years working, and they actually said productivity has gone up for people working at home. And so it's like, why do we need to go back? But to Donovan's point, you got a lot of these CEOs who are white men, and they want to put their thumb on the workforce, to be able to say, what are you doing? And so it's actually kicking them in the butt, because people aren't going back like they expected them to. And Robin says, but who can pay their rent off of Wendy's and McDonald's salary? I don't blame those people for not going back to work. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them either. I just be finding something else to do. And McKay, he says inflation is total BS. Okay. And Marty says, let's give a shout out to Prince Markie, who died. So actually it's Biz Markie, who died Friday, one of the greatest all-time rappers. Most of the rappers died this year from Prince Markie D, heart attack, DMX, heart attack. You know, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Prince Markie D died, what, 2 years ago?
No, it was this year.
Was it Prince Markie D this year?
This year, yeah.
Okay, and then Biz Markie.
Yeah, Biz Markie died on Friday.
Yeah.
He died to complications of diabetes. It's a big loss in the hip hop community. I mean, Biz Markie was
what was the name of his crew that had Big Daddy Kane in it and all the brothers? What was the name of the crew?
I don't know the name of the crew, but I know everybody called the Vapors. Okay, because everybody was all up on it. Anyway. Now I'm trying to catch your sister up. And Arson, you said, sorry, I meant to say hi. No worries. Just glad to see you two on YouTube for the first time. Can't believe I wasn't subscribed. Me either. Says I wanted to ask you how your Costa Rica trip went. Did you visit the Black town? We weren't on that side of Costa Rica where the Black town was. We wish
it was too many hours out and the traffic was horrendous because they're doing a lot of construction out there.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, we'll be back on Facebook in less than about 2 weeks, I guess, from this point. They tripping with me.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked because we've been on Facebook the whole time we've actually done these shows. We've been on Facebook ever since we started. So.
I just can't go live over a meme of Mickey Mouse. Is actually ridiculous if you ask me. From 2018, by the way. And Facts Not Feelings, if I didn't already say hello, it says, Demetra, get the jab. When you go online and you are next, just switch places with the white person in line if you feel that you're getting has something extra in it. Now, I don't need to go nowhere near that line. Not at all.
You guys should have seen her getting just a test. I mean, they had to hold her down.
They had to hold her down. But
I did give you some good advice. I said, lean up against the wall.
And it worked. He told me, he says, when you go in there, because normally you're not able to lean up against anything. You just have to sit in the chair. So Donovan says, ask him, can you lean your head against the wall? And I asked her, she goes, oh, okay. So I put my head back because, putting your head back stops you from going, when they want to stick it up your nose or so. It worked. It was negative to say the least. And All Aboard says, we want quality jobs who want to risk their life for fast food. Well, you got that certain part of society that wants their hamburgers and their haircuts, and they want you to do it, and they're mad that they have to wait an extra 5 to 15 minutes to get it. We want it right now. So,
but see, this is why they're fighting immigration so hard, because you've got people that will come here and take those jobs, because where they're from, they don't have jobs like that. So, these people are doing jobs that most people in this country don't want to do. So it's a
but watch how fast they move on this immigration thing and just start letting that happen, because they got to fill those jobs somehow. And Americans who, who are supposed to be here legally, I guess, if you will, they're like, we off the rat race. We're not going to be on a hamster wheel no more. So they got to find somebody. Otherwise, those corporations go under. So,
and speaking of which, just before we get out of here, I hope we can talk about the DACA thing. It was ruled unconstitutional. Like, Obama didn't have the business to do it. It's not over yet. But have you guys noticed how quickly the Hispanic caucus and all the blacks and the CBC has jumped on it? Like it is like, how dare they? Oh, we got to do something about the DACA people and protect them and whatever. Where is this urgency when it comes to black people? So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, the DACA thing was ruled by a Texas federal judge, to be unconstitutional. Obama did not have the right to do it. It needs to go through the legislative process. And okay, wait. If you're for DACA, even if you're against it, the Democrats have all the votes right now to push DACA through. What's the holdup?
They're playing games. And Pioneer says, I don't understand why the malls and freeways are packed. Where is the money coming from? I'm in financial status, and the financial status many would consider poor. I don't understand how so many people are making it. Well, this is the other thing too. And my brother told me this. I'm gonna actually have Walter come on this show. Try to have him come on. We come on one more day a week. Maybe have him come on, give us some real good financial advice. But my brother said this to me a long time ago. think it was during the 2008 recession. And we actually passed by a mall. He says, everybody ain't broke. The mall parking lot was full. And so we think that because maybe we're struggling, that everybody's struggling. That's not true. Yeah, some people who, maybe they are minimalists, like myself, like Donovan. You live within your means. You're not making a whole lot of money, but you're appropriating your money in the right way. And there's people who are rich. And so, a lot of times we get inundated with information. And I'm not saying you, the pioneer, but we don't necessarily dissect it. But it's, you pass by any mall, or like you said, or these restaurants, they're packed. So the money is coming from somewhere. Everybody ain't broke. We just got to figure out how to be one of them, right? And then the other cases, some people are in there tricking off money they don't have. So that's true too. Honeydew says, we call it, we can call it whatever, but goods and services have increased dramatically. And that is true too. And Arson says, what if they drop a burger? Honestly, both of you have your comedic moments. I mean, I'm just saying, come on, you really think about this. They got a worker shortage. They paying these people minimum wage. They got the drive-through wrapped around the building with 50 people in the lobby wanting their food. You think they got time to drop your burger and make it over? Listen, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16, and I got horror stories for you, but I ain't gonna do that to you. So I think we gotta use common sense sometimes, right? And Moni says, so all rappers that have died from February into Friday have been dying with cases of heart attacks from Biz Markie. Uh-oh, where did that comment go? I'm gonna catch up on these comments.
Yeah, to Prince Markie D, to DMX, to Rob, I don't know who that is, Rob Bass maybe. So we got to keep better for ourselves, look out better for ourselves. So that means all of the fat boys are dead. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And then Robin says, that's right. And Olive Board says, thank you for that, Donovan. The Olive Board says, I have been a chef for several years. And if you know how big an issue it is with cross-contamination and whatnot, yep, all of that. Man, I'm glad y'all putting these things in there, because that reminded me to cook at home a little bit more. Speaking of which, we went through a drive-through yesterday, and they had this old lady. Oh, I felt so bad for her. This old lady was working the drive-through window, and this line was long. So when we got up to the window, we understood why. This lady probably had to be in her 70s, I would think. And she was like, huh? What? What was that? Got the order wrong like twice. And I just felt so bad for her. I'm like, but this is a management issue. Why y'all got this old lady in this window like this, stressing her and everybody else out? But, that lady ain't there because she wanted to be. I doubt she was there because she wanted to be. She's probably there because she had to be, right? Minimum wage job. And the Pioneer says, despite the pandemic and violence killing and injuring people by the thousands, hundreds of thousands, people seem to have plenty of money to party all over the place. I don't understand where they're getting it. Well, some of them have it, and some of them are, taking it from places they ain't supposed to be taking it from, right? People are always gonna find some money to have a good time with. I don't care what your financial status is. And Moni says, Donovan, you can take weed and fry up different flavors of chicken. It would be awesome, and you would have lines of people where they could get a buzz and enjoy some wonderful wing dings. Oh Lord. And Olive Board says, Demetra, a few years ago, they used to autoclave the tools. That's what it's not. It might be something like that. The machine you're talking about, it says, like Dennis, you rarely see that now. Yeah. It might be an autoclave, but yeah, you're right. And let's see, you get some of these other comments. And Robin said, did you see where Jim Crow Clyburn dissed the young fellow who asked about reparations? You got to go pay attention, South Carolina. Yeah, we saw it. And him and all the older people in there was like, what? Who is this young whippersnapper in here asking questions? But he was absolutely right. And Clyburn was caught off guard with that one. He's like, oh, I was about to come in here and shuck and jive, but you ain't making that easy for me. But people are waking up. See, Ruffin, how you doing? He says, yes, good food preparation is. And then Frankie says, Pioneer, right now I'm in Cali. People going to Disneyland like, wow.
Yeah, y'all got to remember, Frank Nitty, here in California, as you know, you can get an annual pass that you can pay monthly. So basically, for you guys that don't know anything about like Disneyland here, You can put like your pass on layaway and you can pay it every month. It's crazy. It's a crazy.
It'll take you a year to pay it off, and then by that time, it's time for a new pass. That's crazy. So see, Ruffy is saying, yes, good food preparation is highly important. Yes, indeed. And Moni says, but keep in mind they're in over anxious hurry, Dimitri and Donovan, to open up, and they don't want people wearing a mask, and they don't want to pay you anything. So it's time for backlash. Yes, indeed. Frank says it's obvious these people are making these viruses up in labs at Fort Detrick, Maryland, and all these news viruses and strains. Come on. I don't know. You may be on to something. And Jafia, how you doing? He says, good evening, Dimitri and Donovan. Eddie, what's going on with you? The Pioneer says, maybe somebody can explain to me what Black people's right to vote needs to be. Why? I think he says it needs to be renewed.
Because we're not citizens.
The 15th Amendment guarantees all citizens the right to vote regardless of race. Renew it. How?
Because we're not considered citizens.
Yeah, I mean, but we get caught up on the other stuff instead of asking like how and why, you know?
Yeah, they need our vote. They'll let us do that. They'll do all this stuff. They'll acknowledge us as human beings, but we are no more than second-class citizens. And then we've got these bootlicks like Jim Clyburn and all the rest of them. I don't care what anybody says. You look at their public record, they haven't done nothing for Black people, and that's why we are still in the situation we are today. We're not citizens. We're not full citizens. Let me say it that way. We're not full citizens.
And all right, and Cool Blur, how you doing? He says this pandemic allowed me to finally file my VA claim 10 years after being out of the military. Yes, indeed. I know that's right. Get your money. And Jafia says actually working from home is overloading in comparison to being in an office here in New York. It says most agencies are not running back to work because they're saving a bundle on rent and overhead. Yeah, I mean, some of those people are paying $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month just to be, you know, just to have the building, right? And Morning says, so I celebrate my birthday, and regardless of whether anybody likes it or not, because it's a blessing to be alive in light of this pandemic. God is so good, whether I celebrate it a day or month or a week. Yes, indeed. And D. Holcomb, how you doing? It says the Juice Crew at Donovan.
Yes, the Juice Crew All Stars. Yes, the Juice Crew. Who also was in that? Who also was in that? He was married to Superhead. Rag to the riches. Rag to the riches. You don't remember?
I mean, there's a lot of people involved with Superhead.
Yeah, but he was married to her. He was the first one married to her. And he had like that, blah, blah, like his tongue was really bigger than his, you know, I'll look him up.
Please do. I'm stumped. And Micaiah just says, Prince Marky D died on February 18th. Yes, 2021, congestive heart failure. Yes, I knew he had passed this year. And let's see here. And Jafia says, I agree with the ruling 100%. And Afro History Learner, how you doing? He says, sorry I arrived late. Where this Black-owned Chinese spot at? Love you guys show it. Thank you so much. It's in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, Black Dragon, BLAQ Dragon. And you can go on there, blackdragon.com.
Yeah, Cool G Rap was the guy. Cool G Rap.
Okay.
Cool G Rap. Roxanne Shante, Biz Markie, Marley Marr was the producer, all that good stuff. All
right. Little hip hop history. And Frankie says, I'm not for DACA, I'm for reparations. Yes, indeed. And hey, how you doing, Eddie? And let's see here. I'm gonna get to some of these other comments and then I'll reread some of these other ones here. I skipped it. Okay, let's see. Where am I? Okay, here we go. And Robin says, I'm not for DACA, illegal immigrants, etc. We can't go into their countries, other countries without following procedures. How can they come here and take over our tax dollars? Because they let them. That's how they do it. But you're right. And Ashanti, how you doing? Sorry, I have my mouse here. If you see this mouse here, if I just barely swipe it, any guys that have an Apple product, if you barely swipe it, it'll swipe me off the screen. And sorry. Anyway, Okay, here we go. Let me get back to these comments. Sorry about that. Dr. was looking like, what the hell?
I was actually writing in the comments. I was like, wait a minute, she stopped talking.
Sorry. And Sunlight says they were scooping our burger off the floor long before the pandemic stopped playing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know that for a fact. Not that I was doing it. And let's see here. And Coolberg, he says, I found out underemployment allows you to tap into government assistance, SNAP benefits, housing, education, and training grants, and medical. I'm just saying. Yes, indeed. And C. Reference says, yes, I'm a fan of working from home. Sorry, Bob, the manager. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people saying working from home allowed them to, be with their kids more and, just do a whole lot of things. And one guy said, I could go take a walk around the block if I want to, and come back and work, but you can't do all that stuff while at the office. And so they tripping. And let's see here. Eddie says, how is working at the Burger King in a horror story? Well, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16, and I've seen it all. Let a customer come up in there with the stuff. Let them come up in there with an attitude. That's why to this day, when I go to a restaurant, I don't care what it is, and if somebody that I'm with want to get froggy with the waitress, I'm like, nah. That's what we're not gonna do.
There was many a lunches Dimitri was telling me to be quiet.
Shut your mouth, okay? Because we don't know what them people on back there in that kitchen. Yes, when you sit down in people's restaurant, yes, I take the water, yes. The pioneer says, I'm going to keep it real. I don't think it's a matter of investments or smarts. I think a lot of Caucasians and a select few from other races are literally being given money from some mysterious source. They might be. I don't think anything is possible.
It's generational wealth. I mean, a lot of them get it from their insurance. That's where a majority of white people get their wealth. 70% of white wealth comes from insurance. Now, you take the ones like Trump and those guys that have generational wealth that was geared from slavery. I mean, hey. Why is it that we look at white people and they automatically have a annual income of $171,000 a year or $117,000 a year?
On average, yeah.
On average,
yeah.
And yet black people specifically, we have 17,000. 17,000.
Yep. And Eddie says, I love the backdrop the brother has up. Which backdrop did you have up? I know it wasn't that one. And I'm going to start talking about that backdrop in a couple of weeks from now.
He's going to talk about the ones with our pictures on it and stuff.
Oh, okay. And Martin says, what I don't like is everybody is in the force to get things open, but they're not offering to pay for vocational skilled trades from our cosmetology to barbering to truck driving to LPM to plumbing, auto mechanic. Yeah. But you can find those courses, but that's a good idea to learn a trade, I would think. The Messenger 215, how you doing? He said, congrats. Sophia says, I don't trust men who love cats. He.
Hey, if you don't love cats, I don't know how you get a girlfriend or a wife. Little jokey joke.
I ain't gonna say nothing. Shut your mouth, D. Shut your mouth. And Ruth, how you doing? You say that's great. And I'm gonna just get to some of these other comments so I can catch up. And Ruth, you say, they just did not want to pay your prices. And the Pioneer says, I believe these politicians are funneling millions from Washington, D.C. directly into the bank accounts of select citizens to keep them wealthy, but they'll tell us they're getting rich from investing, quote unquote.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right in that, because that's what you call a lobbyist. They're there to write legislation that puts money in the corporation's pocket and all these other things. Now, let's talk about the politicians and themselves. How is it that Nancy Pelosi, she must be a magician or something, because if you look at her investment portfolio, she never loses on any of her investments. Now, why is that? Is it because she has an inside track to what these businesses are doing because she is a politician? They already know. What was that lady that was in Georgia that just lost the Warnock? Her husband was on the stock market thing. He owned it.
Right.
So she was the richest woman in Congress, and she was only there by a special election. She's the richest woman in Congress. How do they know how to invest so well and don't take any L's? Because all of them engage in insider trading. Some do it more so than most. But if you look at how these guys get down, we would be locked up for what they're doing.
And remember, right before they announced the shutdown, all of them jumped out the stock market, and then wham, it was a wrap. And let's see here in the Messenger 215 says, shouldn't black athletes boycott the Olympics? They should, but they're not. And then the other side of it too is, if you kind of really think about it, they worked hard their whole life to get there. And, you know, the Olympics is not like an every year thing. It's every, 2-4 years, depending on, 4 years. So I could kind of see it from that point of view too. But then the thing is, a lot of times we ask these athletes to boycott, and we ain't going to boycott with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we asking them to put it on the line, but we're not going to put it on the line with them, really, because we don't have, the only thing we're going to put on the line is not watching it, you know, but them, it's future, you know, it's money to help them build the legacy, if you really think about it, depending on how far they go. And so I'm on the fence with it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and then a lot of them, think what sport it is, you only have so much years before you peak and then you go down. So, right. You know, they're facing a wall, you know. Right.
Yes, everybody's saying cool G rap. And Marty says, from the time of slavery, Caucasians had us in their kitchen preparing many dishes, as they know that when we put our minds to it, we really turn it up. But I say let's invest in ours from here on out. Yes, indeed. Ashanti, yes, cool G rap. And Ruth, you say, who was not married to Superhead? Oh,
who was not married? Yeah. Well, cool G rap was married to Superhead first. That was when she was 19 and really young, and he got with her. They have a baby together, actually a son. But I guess she ended up marrying Darius McCrary from Family Matters. And
that's why, but I knew he wasn't the first one, though, yeah.
Yeah, so no, Cool G Rap was the first.
Well, I'm talking about Darius.
Yeah, but who hasn't been with Superhead? That's a different question.
Have you? No, I'm just kidding.
Not yet, but Lord, if I got an opportunity.
When y'all don't see Donovan here no more, is because he went to the upper room. Olive Boy says, I really enjoyed your show, and I really enjoyed being here as well. And I'm gonna just get to some more of these comments. And Eddie says, "Rip Bismarcky." Yes, indeed. Seems like they called him the gentle giant. I've seen a lot of people in the industry really just lament over his passing. Was really, you know, hoping that he would pull through having diabetes complications. So it really is sad. Only 57 years old. That's another thing I think we need to take into account. A lot of our people, not just celebrities, because, you know, we don't hear about the everyday people that pass because they don't have the spotlight. But a lot of our people are passing at very young, early ages. 57 is a baby. That's 7 years older than me, and I'm a baby.
7 years? You mean 34 years older than you?
Give or take. You know, math is a little bad.
Yeah. But no, actually, I had an opportunity to meet him when I was working part-time for U.S. Airways in Florida when I was down there. I always worked a part-time job in the military. So I was down there, and he was there. I didn't make a big fan for. I recognized who he was. I asked him to come up, and he wasn't in first class, and I made sure to put him in first class. And all the other, my coworkers, because I was the manager there, they were like, you know, hey, you don't worry about, put him in first class, period. Real cool guy, came up and thanked me, and I was like, hey, no problem. Now your entourage, I don't know about those guys, but you could go first class.
And Holistic Lifestyle, how you doing? He says one is still alive, the Fat Boys yet. One went years.
That's got to be Cool Roski, because I know the human beatbox is dead. He's been dead for a while. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be Cool Roski. And he lost weight because of diabetes, complications with diabetes. So he ended up losing weight. So that's, at least we got one Fat Boy left. So
yep. And Pioneer says, I used to work at a fancy hotel in Detroit, and some of these wealthy investors, quote unquote, were too stupid to find their way out of the bathroom. It's hard to believe they were smart enough to get rich through stocks. You never know. And let's see here. I'm going to get to some of the other comments. And Jafai says, I would definitely patronize a Black Chinese restaurant when I'm in the Maryland area. At least we will not have to worry about what we are eating. Yes, indeed. And Eddie says, I'm not for this craziness of opening the borders like that. But they're going to watch because they need people to come in here and work. And Jafia says, Demetra tried to take herself out. And Micaiah, you say, Moni, I can't disagree with you more. Open up, open up. Some people are saying open up. And let's see here. Atlanta, how you doing, sis? That's my sister, y'all. She said, that's right. No more work at the office. Yeah, she's like, I'm not going back. She's able to work from home. And, and I know just talking to her, she says it's convenient to be home with her children. You don't have to find somebody to watch them. And, you have more time to just be with your children, raise your children, and, your children be with you. That's the way it's supposed to be. We've gotten used to having to go to work. And then God forbid if you have a commute, you got to, it takes you 2 and 3 hours to get home back and forth. And it's just a lot. And so people don't have to do that no more. It says some people have even moved out of the states that they were in, to go somewhere cheaper. Some people have even let their second car go because why do we need it? I'm at home working, and now they want people to come back to the plantation. It's like, nah.
Yeah. And I know here in Southern California, people spend 2 hours just to get to go to work one way. So think about that, 4 hours of the day for 5 days out of the week for a year, add that up for a lifetime. You're probably going to end up spending 3 to 4 years of your life sitting in traffic.
Or longer. You think about it. You especially if you live in Southern California. And Micaiah says Burger King too. And let's see here. Pam says, I remember folks were bathing in Burger King sinks. Ugh.
They're about to hit the club then. They're about to get off shift and go hit the club. Doing a Tweety Bird. They were doing a Tweety Bird.
I got a weak stomach and just thinking about that. Not going to tell you I have a weak stomach. We was at our Airbnb and the neighbors, like they just let their dogs go everywhere. And I was just like, ugh.
Costa Rica is a dog-friendly country. So if you have a dog, they love dogs down there. And unfortunately, this dog
loved us too. Disgusting. Pioneer says, King and Queen, we need you to hurry up and form our own political party and put our own hand-picked candidates in office so they can funnel some of that DC money directly to us. We can live lavish. Yes, indeed.
See, but that's the thing. That's what they're supposed to do as a politician. You're supposed to go to Washington, D.C. and steer federal dollars to your district. That's what they're supposed to do. But they don't do that. They enrich themselves and they enrich their benefactors that do that. There's a race right now in Ohio. Nina Turner is part of it. Look at all of the corporate Democrats that got behind Nina Turner's opponent, who's a very corrupt black politician that is she hasn't done anything. But all the corporate Democrats want her to win and putting money in her pocket in her campaign because Nina Turner was supportive of Bernie Sanders and she's very progressive. But that's how it's supposed to work. So when you see a black politician in Houston and all these little bad areas, you're saying, wow, this is a black politician that's been there 30 years, and yet the district looks like crap. It isn't supposed to be that way.
That is true. I went through Sheila Jackson Lee's district yesterday, and I will say that not too much money is being steered there. I'm just going to just leave it at that. And Avery, how you doing? I think you want to say what's up, but your comment got cut off. And Moni, I'll read one of your comments. She says, Donovan, you're making music come to my ears. I hope you can come to Michigan. I would love to see your handsome brown face. I really think seriously need to shut down the country until this virus is gone. And maybe you and Donovan can quarantine together. I like he could take his cats and everything. Yeah. I'll see what I can do to make that happen. And Eddie says the backdrop with the spear and African country.
EFF moniker, the EFF moniker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Demetra is a big EFF supporter. Julius Malina is her crush. So yeah.
For real, he ain't lying. And let's see here. Micaiah says, Moni, that's not gonna stop the killing. Certainly won't stop us from killing each other. Jafia says, Donovan, I'm 100% woman and I have enough punani of my own. So I don't want a girlfriend or a wife.
I hear you, sister. I hear you. But can I just say this? Can I form my own opinion about that punani? No,
This ain't no like you going into Costco and get some samples, brother. That's not how that works.
Hey, brother got to try. Brother got to try. You know.
Pioneer says Donovan's correct. I used to work at a Subway sandwich shop with a Caucasian dude, and both of us were making minimum wage, but he had a house, car, and family. No way in hell could he do that on his salary. Well, he probably had some generational wealth given to him. Mom and dad was like, oh, you know, we'll buy you a house for your wedding present. And oh, you need a car too. So, you know, that's probably how he was doing it. Maybe he was renting a family member's house or something.
Right. And you guys got to remember, a lot of these white folks join the military, be it the reserve, the air guard, the guard, whatever, get those military benefits. They get their housing, and then they play the game. Oh, I got PTSD. I got this. How the hell you think about it? You're no more than 23 years old. You're 100% disabled. That's $3,500 tax-free for the rest of your life.
Yes, indeed.
And they play these games, and this is what they do. They play these games. But we tell our kids, oh, don't join no white man's military. Hey, go in there, get a skill, do what you got to do. It's not for everybody, but the point is they're playing the game to keep the wealth coming to them. This $3.2 trillion package that Joe Biden and the Democrats want to pass, that money isn't going into the black community. That money is going right to the very white people that they represent. That's who's going to get that money, because who has these construction companies? Who has these skills? The people that have them are mostly white, and that's where the majority of this money is going to go.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of money, y'all, if y'all would, if you could, donate to the Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Every little bit helps keeping Black media going. There is a cost to the show. And so every little bit helps. I appreciate you guys in advance, and I appreciate you guys that have donated already. Thank you and big ups. All right. And Donovan says, hold the vote until we get something for it. It's really that simple. And we have those T-shirts are on sale. Donovan, I haven't seen you put no links in the comment section lately.
Oh, yeah. I got to get back into the swing of things. I still think I'm in Costa Rica. Sorry.
That's okay. I'll let it slide this time. And Makaya says, insider trading. Yes, indeed. Honeydew says, there's something sweet about a man who loves cats. I can't explain it. Okay. Listen, that's another thing I said I'm doing. I'm doing an auction. I'll probably do it, I don't know, one day soon. I'm going to auction Donovan off to the highest bidder, ladies. Bring your coins. Bitcoins too. We take them all. I mean, you know, I can't guarantee the product, but y'all give me feedback, whoever wins. That's all I'm going to say. And Martin says, you see parts of the NBA and the basketball league, they've had to close down because people are still coming up with the actual virus, even though they've been vaccinated, which is amazing. Shut down. Yeah, one of the announcers, he said he was vaccinated and he has tested positive. And Holistic Lifestyle says Big Daddy Kane, Master Ace, Roxanne Shante, Biz Markie, Craig G, Marley Ma, and MC Shan. Yeah, absolutely. And Eddie says that's real talk about inside politics. And Don P, how you doing? He said they also can't be charged with insider trading. Yep. Yeah, and you know, they're not going to admit they did it, even though it's like mysteriously before you announced the shutdown was happening, we were in a pandemic. All of you withdrew your money, huh? What did you know we didn't know?
And nobody got charged, nothing. If that was anybody else, that people would have been locked up, because that's the definition of insider trading, because you were in those meetings. You were briefing the corporations, hey, we just got this, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, Martha Stewart did a bid, and hers wasn't even that big of a deal. And let's see here. And Avery, okay, so here's the rest of your comment. Says, what's up, Sister Demetria? The other day I was in McDonald's and asked for hand sanitizer. The new worker didn't even know where the stations were. That should have been trained to him first day. Yeah, he's probably, I don't care. Make it minimum wage. Bring your own hand sanitizer. We don't clean our hands here.
No, and you know what, though? But that also puts the onus on us, because if you're going to rely on somebody else to do what you should be doing for yourself, you deserve to catch whatever you're going to catch. Because like I said, when we were in Costa Rica, they were not playing around.
I know. I thought my hands were going to crack open and bleed from all the doggone hand sanitizer.
Yeah, because every store we went into, we had to do the same procedure over and over again.
Yep. And a cool blurry says, little people know the SNAP food program will pay for trade school and or 2-year college program. SNAP and E&T, if you are currently receiving unemployment, you qualify for it. Oh, that's good to know. And the Pioneer says, King and Queen, I remember it before you, but you should consider doing a show where we discuss our values and what an ideal political party that supports us would look like. And we actually are going to start doing that. Because the midterms are next year. So we want to start actually, we'll probably just have a show strictly talking about politics and what we should be doing and what we should be looking for. Because, you know, they're going to bring out all the stops, the bells and the whistles to get us back.
Oh, if we don't, you got to vote Democrat. Trump's coming back. You got to do it.
And they're going to tie his hands.
I know we didn't get y'all nothing last term, but you know, I know we did the DACA thing. We made sure they were cool. Asians got theirs, but you know, because you got to vote for us because you know we got you guys next time.
Yeah, and if we don't vote the midterm election, they gonna tie Biden's hands, and he ain't gonna be able. All the same old stuff, y'all. So we don't. Yes, indeed, you're right about that. We do need to start talking about that. And Cool Blur says automatic qualify for SNAP program. And Eddie says super head don't want Donovan.
That is not true because it don't matter. She takes them 8 to 80 dumb, cripple, and crazy.
Well, which one do you fall in? Penelope says take care of yourself. Yep, just take care of yourself. You'll be all right. You should be. Eddie says Bismarcky music was a huge influence on me.
He did a lot of writing for a lot of artists, believe it or not. Him, Big Daddy Kane, they did a lot of writing.
Yeah, it was a big influence on a lot of people. I mean, with my daughter being very small, you know, her favorite song was Just a Friend. She's like, you got what I need. She loved this song.
I love this stuff, but I really love when he came out with It's Spring Again, where he's kind of like Barry White.
But I post that every spring, though. Just by every spring, I will post that song like it's spring again. Yes, indeed. And Jafai says, quiet is kept. A lot of former Black athletes died of COVID. Yep.
Yeah, there was a Negro baseball player that died yesterday, I think. I mean, some of our best heroes are just dropping, man. Sad. In their 70s. It's sad.
Penelope says, do your best to take care of your health. Yes, indeed. And Sunlight says, our health is so important, extra important for Black people because we endure so much extra trauma for simply existing. Yes, indeed. And the diet is the easiest thing you can control. So why not start there, right? Hey, Reggie, how you doing? It says, right, Cool Rock Ski is still alive. Okay. And Morning says, I find it kind of hypocritical. I think he meant I find it kind of hypocritical because many Black women love to seek out a Black male or a woman to style or to cut their hair in many cases, but you penny pinch, but don't do it to others. It's really fake. Yes, indeed. And Avery says, your thoughts on the protests in LA at We Spa over allowing transgender in nude spaces with women and children. How can I say this? To me, it's a loaded question, and I want to give an initial answer. And I don't really know a lot about that case. So you say in nude spaces with women and children. I would say this. I don't know a whole lot about the transgender community and all that. I'm still kind of learning. But what I do understand is it's not most of their goals to do things to people because a lot of them identify as a woman, whether we say they are or not, they identify as that. So I don't think that's their main objective is to do sinister things to people, if that makes any sense. So I don't really know. I don't really know the case in regards to that. So forgive me for not knowing, but I just think if we understand that's not their goal, because a lot of times we attach pedophilia and sexual deviance to that community, when in essence is more prevalent in the straight community. Those are the facts. So I know. I hope that helps. I'm not trying to be confusing. And Don, you say. You have to see the video Sister Deborah Yah did on what goes on in the kitchen of Chinese restaurants and made me quit those restaurants full stop. Oh, yeah, I bet. And I mean, I stopped eating there a while back, so I take your word for it. And Sunlight says they have to keep us in the rat race. It's big business in every way. Yes, indeed. And Marty says, Demetri, you probably should bring up that many times when you go to your state board of cosmetology, either take your barber's exam, your cosmetology, or esthetician exam. Many of them fail. Yes, but I passed mine on the first time. It's just about studying. Pam says, I live in Southern California, and it's true. The traffic is awful. I'm glad that I only travel 3 miles to work and back. Every vehicle you see on the road mostly is not us.
Yeah, Pam, you don't even see black people anymore down here in Southern California. Everybody's leaving. Demetri just left. I mean, and we're leaving for a good cause. I mean, we've been gentrified out. So,
yes, it's too expensive. And Holistic Lifestyle says we don't need to shut down. Yeah, so a lot of people like, we don't need that. But, you know, if this thing keeps raging out of control like they say it is, I mean, then what, you know? And Gerard, how you doing? He says Dems will not end the filibuster. The midterm is going to be a disaster.
You got that right, brother. You got that right. And they're going to have all the excuses in the world why it happened. When all they got to do is do for black people, do the reparations, get us our votes. If you want to do DACA, do that. Do what you need to do. And then you wouldn't have to worry about the midterms. But they don't want to do that because the Democratic Party is just the left arm of white supremacy. That's all it is. It's just the left arm of white supremacy. They want to uphold white supremacy. And Joe Biden told you, I am the status quo candidate.
Yes, he did. The morning says many people that sit back and say we don't need another shutdown is the ones that's not being affected with having loved ones gunned down every 2-5 seconds by standard white supremacy society. Let's be clear. And the pioneer says, okay, Don and Demetri, we got 9 years. We live in 3 different regions, but if y'all are willing to support a handpicked candidate for us, I'm willing to relocate and help campaign and send them to DC. Yeah.
Okay. You know, and I'm glad you said that because I'm going to give you a good person to get behind. Nina Turner. Oh my God, Donovan actually supporting a black woman. No, I'm supporting somebody that I know will go in there and do the work. I don't care if she's a woman, transgender, whatever. If you're going to go in there and do the work, that's the person I'm going to go because Nina Turner, she's unapologetic and she knows what it is we need. She ain't going to go up there and say, yeah, we need a study. She ain't about all that. She's about doing for her people. And then when Hillary Clinton and the Democratic machine come up against her, that tells you that's a candidate you need to get behind.
And what's our sister's name? Tamara Sheely Johnson?
Yeah, Tamara Sheely Johnson. She's running against Ralph Warnock for senator in Georgia. Good excuse to go to Atlanta. But she's another one that's in the good fight. And the forces are jumping up on her. Because remember, Ralph Warnock didn't win in a landslide. He barely got in there.
Okay. And he's, you know, it was only, 2 years. He had to finish up the term. So 2 years.
And and they didn't give that money that they said, if you vote for Warnock, we're going to give you this money.
Right. They lied. Hey, Jonelle, how you doing? Me and him, we're sellies. We both kind of on lockdown on Facebook. When you coming up out of there, Jonelle? I'm due out, I think August 1st, something like that. BJ, how you doing? Thumbs up. Yes, indeed. I guess that's the like button. If y'all can hit the like button. Like I said, I'm still new to this thing here. And Micaiah, he says, I work with someone who was vaccinated and he came in sick, saying it was his allergies. I got sick from him. Keep that jab. Damn. See, they don't want y'all to know about that kind of stuff. And Jafia says, I don't have children, so I wasn't aware that they took all of the trade programs out of high schools, shaking my mother up in head. Yeah, they did that a long time ago. Yeah, they don't, probably not too long after we were in high school, which was 2 years ago. So,
you know, and then yet you have the civil rights era, people talking about, well, what's wrong with, you know, this, that. And I get in arguments with them all the time because guess what? You guys are the ones that made those decisions. And guess what? You're the ones that are still in power.
Yep. And Ruth says, I'm in. Okay. And Jafia says, sounds like my girl Demetri can hold a note. I could sing a little bit. I lettered in choir. I was in the elementary choir, junior high choir, high school. I got a letter from my Letterman jacket for choir. I sang choir in church.
She anchored the bass while I was at the tenor.
Shut up, fool. I do have a pretty good low note now that I'm older. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Barry White, but I do all right. Shower singing more than anything. Robin says Biden don't have to do anything his second term, regardless of any promises that he may or may not make. Obama did the same thing his second term. Yep.
I don't think Biden's going to get a second term.
Does he? He probably won't even remember that he needs to run for the second term.
And you know what the sad thing is? The Democrats have nobody they could run. They've already said Kamala Harris, who we didn't pick her. She got bounced out. She came in 6th in the primaries. She got bounced out in the primaries by black people. So the Democratic Party picked her. So who do they have? If they've already said that, they've already done test runs that if Kamala Harris ran against Trump or anybody in the Republican Party, she would be defeated soundly. Soundly.
Yes. Eddie, you laughing at the quarantining together. Ow. I'm just saying. Marnie seems like she can use a companion. Donovan needs a companion. I mean, why not? Y'all remember Chuck Woolery? I put people together in 2 and 2. It's not a thing. Okay, hold it together. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, I will get to some more of these comments. Sacks Up Your Life, how you doing? It says, lovely to see you both, and I'm glad to see you are happy and safe. I am so happy that one of our people have opened a Chinese restaurant and that we're giving them our support. Absolutely. Yeah, we need more of them and to keep it going. And if you're in that area, the Maryland area, yeah, drive by. It sounds like they're pretty busy, which is a good thing, right? And Jafia says, Demetra, what happened at the spa? Was that the man trans walking around in the women's locker area with his wait a minute. With his ding ding swinging while the little girls were in the area? Okay, see, wait a minute.
Basically, it was a scene out of Starship Troopers when they were taking showers together and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And isn't that a crime?
Wait.
In the presence of a child, isn't that a crime?
Listen, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it caught me off guard. I don't even know what to say. And admittedly, like I said, I heard about that, but wait a minute. You mean to tell me that he or she, I don't know what the correct term is, was rocking around with their thing swinging? I'm with Donovan. I mean, regardless of what they identify with, it's a crime. And unfortunately, I think the lines have gotten blurred. I mean, even if you are a man, a woman, or whatever you are, like, you can't do that. I'm telling you, I spoke to a young man years ago, 23 years old, who did a bid in prison because he was urinating outside, and a white woman walked by with her daughter and called the police on him. So you mean to tell me that whatever they identify with can walk around little girls like that and just be like, but I'm a woman? Is that how it works? I'm confused. My God. Makai says, COVID is not going anywhere. Get used to it. Uh-oh, where'd that comment go? Shoot, where'd it go? Not going anywhere. Neither is the agenda to jab everyone. Yes, indeed. Eddie says, I need a t-shirt link. Where the link at?
I put it up there. It's called blackanddopeapparel.com.
Okay, when I get to it, I'll put it up. And Moni says, Donovan, do you know good and well America is not going to want to give up no more stimulus as long as it's a virus that got to give a stimulus. But other than that, they don't want to help the Black community. Yes, indeed.
Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm. And Sacks Up Your Life says, on TikTok, our young people are on strike because pink people are stealing their ideas and not giving them credit. Would be so good if they would all go to the Black network to feature their talent.
There is the solution right there. There is a solution, but guess what? The ice on the white side is always colder than the black side.
Yep, they are on strike, and you're right. Somebody should create a platform for them where they can do all that stuff. I mean, the pink people, as you say, are gonna come over and steal it anyway. But at least they'll be on their own platform and they'll get paid, because they say they don't even make the money the pink people make for even stealing their stuff. And Ashanti said, how can I find a Cash App? It's on can y'all see the bottom of the screen? It's a crawler here on the bottom. Where it has
Cash App, Demetra K.
Yeah, $ Demetra K. Yep, it's all the stuff is on the bottom though. And I appreciate you for asking. I appreciate you guys too. I see some of y'all have became members. I guess that is. So I appreciate that. That really means a lot. I appreciate that a lot.
So do I. Like Dr. Dre and Eazy-E. The same money that you're making is paying me.
Ike Turner. That is my Ike Turner there. And the pioneer says, I don't see the transgender movement as legitimate as gay and lesbian movement. Homosexuals fought for the right to be themselves. Trans, on the other hand, demand that you see them see the world as they do.
Well, you got to remember, Pioneer, the gay, lesbian, whatever LGBT movement is equivalent to the Black movement.
Well, it's not. And
that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It is.
And I get all that. You guys notice I don't talk about that a lot on here because they do be watching. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm trying to be evasive about it. I am, but it's for a reason, if that makes any sense. I guess if we want to continue doing what we doing, we kind of gotta. It's just the way it is, y'all. And it's not just me, it's a lot of other channels.
Yeah, we got to get on our knees and let them grab us by the back of our heads.
No, it ain't quite that. It's just we ain't up and running on our own platforms yet to where we can be free to be, right? But
Phil's working on it. Phil's working on it.
Well, he actually has an app, the African Diaspora News Channel app, I think it is. You can find it on the Play Store or whatever. So there is an app and a website. If you guys want to go check out the content that we can't put on regular platforms, all that stuff is there as well. So Phil is building a conglomerate, a place where we can go and be free to be, if that makes any sense. All right, Robin says, sad to say Black folks are going to happily vote for Biden-Harris in 2024. He don't have to make any promises. Shaking my head. You're right.
I predict, believe this or not, I predict this. Biden or the Democrats are going to lose the White House in 3.5 years. I predict that because if he doesn't do anything for Black people that put him in office, there are so many people. Where are the Biden supporters now? Remember, they were out there dancing and telling you to skew-y and all that other stuff, and you don't know how to vote and you don't know how to do this. We're going to hold him accountable when we get into office. They're missing in action. Where are these people at?
Right. Tanaya, what's going on with you? He says, good evening, Demetra and Donovan. Hello, chat. And Honeydew says, Nina got too much to say about immigration, but I love her and I watch Tamara Shealy at times. Yeah, I have seen that about Nina. She's on the immigration train. So, we need somebody who's going to be all about Black people for the most part, And Sunlight says that Donovan, how can she be for Black people when she backs Sanders, the reparation denier?
True. That's true. Okay, you compare her to who she's running against, and I'm not saying vote for the lesser of two evils because it's still evil. What I'm saying is she is progressive. She isn't going to play this stupid game of whatever. Or better yet, we'll hold her accountable once she gets in office. No, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. You know what? We have nothing to lose by putting a progressive in there. We have nothing to lose at this point because go do the research on the lady that she's running against and the Democrats are putting money behind. Go look at that.
Is that the lesser of two evils?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Nollywood, Reginald, how you doing? He says, Hotep, Sister Demetra, and Brother Donovan. And Honeydew says, I like Tamara too. She talks about bills in Congress. Yes, indeed. Reginald Rip Bismarcky. And Moni says, Demetra, if you notice these people are not offering to pay for one to get a vocational skill, that's what I have a problem with. If you're offering money for a vocational college or regular university, says, but what about covering vocational skills? That's something they need to look into, they being the Biden administration or anybody for that matter. And Pioneer says the transgender not only demand the right to be trans, but they also demand you call them whatever gender they identify, basically telling you how to think. I'm not sure why Democrats took their agenda because they have unity and they have power. It's nothing to, we get mad at their community, but we should actually take notes from their community. Their community have an agenda and they have unity and they go after it. That's why they get what they want. We, on the other hand, we don't, right? And let's see here. Jonelle says, I have no idea when they get out. They got their Facebook censorship of truth on max. You ain't lying because it'd be some silly stuff too. It's like, really? Whatever, man. And Oh shoot, I lost my place. And Tawana says there were little girls in that locker room at the time. See, I ain't heard about that, but damn. There's so much I want to say. And Pioneer said one of the reasons I'm not a Democrat is because Donovan, this damn cat, they tend to be too damn big. They take on too many agendas. They should focus on Black, Latino women's rights and helping the poor. That's it. And leather and luxury cars says not the ding ding. Oh my, I'm speechless, to be honest with you. I got what you meant, the Pioneer. And Robin says he identifies as trans and flashed a bunch of women and girls in the spa, and legally he got away with it because he identified as trans. Now, see, that's some bullshit. I try not to cuss like that on here, but that's some bullshit right there. I'm gonna have to look more into that. I'm gonna have to look more into it. Mona says, personally, I don't mind working, but I'm not working nobody's job that's having my heels hurting. I'm in my early 50s now, like Demetra, and if you're not going to pay me decent, you can keep it. Yeah, ain't no sense of wearing your body out for some peanuts. Pioneer says, thank you, King and Queen. Another great show. Yes, indeed. And Moni says, Donovan, what happened to when they introduced that bill that was supposed to cover up to $10,000 of your student loan from Joe Biden to cover $15,000 towards your rent for 2 years? Liars, nothing done. Well, keep waiting.
That's right.
Jonelle says, support NFA Studios. Get the app on your phone. It's Black owned. You know what? I was looking for that like a couple of weeks ago, and maybe I was looking for it under. Maybe I think I was looking on the NFS. So it's NFA. NFA. That's actually the Nation of Islam, right? If I'm not mistaken, and they have a whole bunch of movies and different things on there. So I am actually going to get that app and start subscribing to that service because it's Black owned. Like, we can't complain about not having Black platforms if we don't support Black platforms. I mean, it's really that simple, right? So, and let's see here. Leather and Luxury Car says, I'm the most normal acting gay man you'll ever meet. Is that what he said? I got to read the story. And Morning says, not to mention, you got many women that have to take care of children of their families because they've been ill or have health issues themselves and don't want to offer these people health care. Yes, indeed. And Jafia says, yeah, Donovan, I agree. I am so not a Biden-Harris fan. Anybody but those two. That makes both of us. James, how you doing? Says, I don't think our vote's going to matter. That's what they're working on. Yep, they're trying to make us irrelevant. And
in 9 years, that's going to actually happen.
Yep. And Jafia says, Jim Crow Joe and Kumala. Damn, y'all got so many names for this woman. And Janelle says, keep stocking up, stocking food, medical supplies, and water. Consider the time, 13 Revelations 18-4. Yep, that's what I'm doing, stocking up on everything. Every time I go to the store, I just get a case of water. Whether I need it or not, I just store it in my garage and just keep buying them. Because you never know. I'm telling you, that Texas freeze, I had water and stuff, but I was like, man, this could have been it for real. And then we would have been up the creek, you know what I'm saying? And Sunlight says, yes, that is the definition of lesser two evils. I just thought I would ask. I'm just asking. And Honeydew says, well, Donovan, we have nothing to lose but to still lose. So let's hold her to the reparations fire. Now, then I may not be strict about immigration. Yeah, I mean, if we getting something for it.
Yeah, if she's for reparations, yeah, she's going to fight for that. So, yeah, she's for reparations, yeah.
And Sacks Up Your Life says, how many cats do you have, Donovan? I'm sure I saw a different one last time. And who looked after your cats while you were on holiday?
Yeah, my sister-in-law looked after my cat. She's stationed here at the base. And I have 3 cats and a dog. I actually have 2 cats. That last one you just saw, he's a feral that I helped. And it's been here for 3 years. So.
You know what I heard when you said have 3 cats and a dog? Our house is a mighty, mighty, mighty fine house with 3 cats and a dog. Yeah, Donovan is the cat man of Catmandu.
Yeah, I'm the cat whisperer. I'll get it. And I get it from my mom. So.
No, but Donovan's a good dude. He really man. I tell Donovan all the time, if I come back, I don't know. I probably want to be one of your animals. I mean, they got credit cards. They got, man, They living a life.
The best health insurance. They eat the best food I can provide. I don't get the cheap stuff, but they have whenever I leave a credit card, you know, that has a significant amount of money on it so that any incidentals happen, you know, I just have to do that because when somebody's with you and the animal might do something and then, you know, I'm on vacation. Don't bother me while I'm on vacation. Make the decision, do what you got to do.
Don't get this man started on that. He had a very traumatizing event happen, and we're gonna pray that he's okay. Morning says, I was just spoken to last week in a disrespectful tone by a racist woman at the Dollar Tree, but I called and complained and spoke to her area regional manager and let her know if she's not happy, leave. And I hope she took your advice. And Sacks Up Your Life says, I bet you were missing your cat.
Not really, because there was animals in Costa Rica and I was just chilling with the animals there. I mean, and then if you guys saw, I don't know if you guys go to Demetra's page, she was, Demetra was really good with that little, what was it, a puma. Paul the puma that was sitting next to you.
No cage. Yeah. He was in a cage now. And Sunlight says they're using rubber bullets on the protesters over the transgender flasher, wasting all of our damn money. See, where have I been? Like, I don't watch TV a lot, especially on the weekends. I kind of like tune out the news and stuff. But I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds really interesting. But they tripping. And Kubler says, I will never understand why people vote against their own interests. I think that everyone in the USA should have the same level of benefits I currently enjoy via military retirement benefits. Yes, indeed. Y'all in the military or vets, man, y'all got it made. I wish let them raise the age limit to 51.
You know, and again, you know, I went to SeaWorld and, you know, I go to SeaWorld every year. I go to Knott's Berry Farm, and anything that is given within the Southern California that the military gets for free, I go annually every year. And I take just different people in my family and stuff like that. Me and Demetra went to SeaWorld, 2 years ago?
Yeah, about that.
So
hot as hell too. And Kubler says, how do you guys feel about cryptocurrency? I indulge in it without going too much into it because they be in Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube kind of, they be tripping on that kind of stuff, if you will. But I have some, Donovan has some. It's not doing very well right now. It's kind of going through its things. But I personally think that it's government controlled. I think they're all in on taking the cryptocurrency because they know a lot of people who are working those fast food jobs were coming up with cryptocurrency. So
yeah, actually the actual crypto, I have 2 crypto coins, and when the thing went to $35,000, I lost $60,000 just on that night. Elon Musk just screwed me. Just $60,000 gone.
I know somebody who lost 200 big bills. It's horrible. Let's see here. And the Pioneer says, I thought Demetra was joking about the credit cards for his pets. I'm not. This dude really each one of them got their own credit card. He needs to talk to somebody about this. All of them, they own credit cards. And the morning says, so I find it that if you are Demetra focusing on the skincare or the hair, you can do even more with sanitation and dealing sometimes with the nails. I would never do anyone's feet unless friends or family. But again, you know where their feet have been. It's been in their shoes all day, but where have their hands been?
Wait. Now, I know we're getting kind of late in the show, but I want you guys to know that we were in Costa Rica. Demetra and her daughter decided finally, because you guys don't know this about Demetra, she kind of goes without sometimes because she's always doing for her family and her friends and stuff. And she finally took some time. And because Demetra could do her own nails, she could do her own feet, whatever. I said, no, you're on vacation. Go do what you do. And we found this beautiful little nail spa area and stuff right there in Costa Rica. And her daughter, we were there for what, about two hours, a little over 2 hours, whatever. Beautiful.
You know why? Because they had to go to work on Myra's feet. Y'all remember that from Martin with Sinead?
That is true. There was skin flying all over the place. That's true. And I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? They had to, have her anchor herself to the table to lift up the foot. And it was something.
It's been a long time, okay?
But it's important to take care of your feet and to, ladies, I know you guys do it all the time, but, but Dimitri, real quick, isn't it kind of good, if you do it regular, I can understand it becomes a normal thing. But like when you do it and you're doing a thorough, really good job, you can actually tell the difference. Like, yeah, this really feels.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm like, damn, I got to get back into this. There is a black nail salon and stuff in Houston I can go to. So I will be checking them out. But like you said, I would do it myself. Not a big deal. And the Pioneer says, Queen, will you be doing more shows throughout the week? Yeah, Donovan and I are going to think about, well, I want to do one on Wednesdays, like a relationship thing. And then we want to also do one on, political stuff because we got to stay engaged with that. So, yeah, we are going to be doing it for sure. Because a lot of people have been asking us to do more shows throughout the week. So, yeah, yes, indeed. And Honeydew says, is that all it takes? A rub on the leg?
Yeah, when the cats, they miss you, they rub against you because they want to put their scent on you because they miss you. And, and I got 3 cats, so they constantly, like right now, they're on my legs right now. So.
Don says, Dimitri, doesn't Donovan's place have the cat urine smell? My little dog is a Mac. He has a sponsor of food and treats. He's going to make it through too. Whatever food deal we have to deal with, he's going to be okay. I'm going to tell y'all one thing about Donovan. Now, I've been in some people's houses with pets, and it's like, not Donovan's house. You wouldn't even know this dude has pets. And not saying it's because this is the homie, but dead serious. You would not even know that Donovan has pets. Because for one, Donovan is really anal retentive on the cleanliness side. I mean, every time I'm over there, he's shampooing or he's vacuuming or he's cleaning. So Donovan is super clean. But you would not be able to tell that he has pets at all. I promise you on everything, you would not be able to know.
Yeah, and the reason why that is I don't have a litter box in the house because I have a dog. So my dog has a pet door and they go outside, and I have a desert landscape. So that means the cats go outside as well. So the only thing I really got to do is keep up with the dander and the fur. So I vacuum almost at least once a day. So
that he does. Yeah. It's Saxby, like it says, Dimitri has a lovely singing voice. Thank you. I know some people who will beg to differ. No. Honeydew says, it says Myra Stan's wife.
Yeah, for Martin. Myra.
Oh,
yes, Myra. Yes.
Yes.
That classic episode where they got the goggles and the sander.
You gotta go to work on like for real, okay? I could have played the remake of that one. Now my feet weren't that bad. Close though. And Martin says Canada only opened up its doors because they need supplies from Michigan, and many of the white supremacists in the Republican Party here in Michigan demand them to open up when they should stay closed. Oh, okay. Pam says, I don't trust politicians. It's hard to vet people. Even Marianne Williamson ran out reparations for blacks. Then when she didn't get nominated, she flipped on blacks. We became all kinds of N-words. Well, damn.
I didn't hear about that, but you got to give her credit because until she brought it to the forefront on that stage, nobody was talking about reparations. No candidate wants to touch that because they know they need the black vote. And we're like, yeah, give us our money. See what I'm saying? It wakes us up to like, where's the money? Where's the money? And nobody wanted to talk about that. Even though her numbers were very, very low, she did bring it to the forefront.
Oh, I ain't heard about that. And Don, are we talking about jackhammer toes? Nah, it ain't.
Oh, no. But I will say this. She does have a hereditary toenail.
Hey, I tell people this. I'm very on my feet. I ran track. I danced my whole life. I'm not talking about like, at the club dance.
No, she was a hip hop. Yeah, she danced.
I'm a trained dancer. I jazz, modern. I taught hip hop for many years. I hated ballet, but I could do it, right? So I got working feet, hiking, you name it, I did it. But they still look good though. I mean, they do. And Channy says there's a sister that does pedicures that will come to your house. She is really good. Oh, okay. I need her number.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Channy, because you know what? A lot of people, that have that skill to do that and are willing to come to people's houses, because some people don't want to get out there on that road or wait when you get there because they're still on the other clients. So yeah, that's a good idea, that people that will come to homes to do the work.
I'm talking about. Okay. And all right, so let's get it. We are over time here. I'm gonna get to these last two comments. And Pam says, hell no, I'm not giving Williamson any credit for being shiftless. I'm with her on that, but I mean, we can't give a pass, especially if she was talking about some, N-word.
Yeah.
What she was talking about.
No. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not saying she didn't do it. I'm just saying I'm not familiar with it. I'm just saying initially, though, to bring that to the forefront, I'll give her credit for that. So, because as a Democratic operative that I am, they do not want that talked about at all.
Right. And Moni says, had it not been for the pandemic, these restaurants and mediocre jobs like Dollar Tree and Dollar General wouldn't even be paying. Some of them still are not paying more, even with the pandemic. Believe it, I think you want to say. And Don says, Donovan, I got the iRobot with the pet hair option. Check it out. Okay. And thank you, Channy. He said, I will DM you her info. Please do.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So that is it. We read everybody's comments, maybe not all of them, but we read everybody's comments. And so we're going to get out of here. We thank y'all so much for being here on the Demetra K Show. We will be back. Donovan, what day you want to do it next week?
What, the Demetra K Show?
No, well, we got one day next week.
Well, whenever you're ready. I ain't doing nothing. I'm sitting over here.
All right. Well, we'll definitely try to give some sort of a heads up when we're going to go live again. So we'll do another show, but I appreciate you guys for being here, but we'll definitely be back on Friday for free
Hello, Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah, and let me answer this. Pam saying, she asked me, how long am I going to be a recovering Democrat? Well, like a recovering alcoholic, it's a lifelong, day by day, one day at a time episode.
So you saying you might relapse?
No, hopefully I won't. But there's a possibility that if there's a good, like Nina Turner, I'll vote for Nina Turner. She's a Democrat. I'll vote for her.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here. And thank you guys for being here. We appreciate y'all for being on the other side of the conversation. This show would not be what it is without you. So yes, indeed, we appreciate you. And we will see y'all next week sometime. Just stay tuned. We'll figure out what day that is. Also, thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything you do behind the scenes and making the show go farther. And you guys be good, be safe, and stay cool out there wherever you are, because I know it is hot as hell.